If you're ever in Buffalo, check out Bar-Bill. They have great wings there. I know you guys hear a lot about Anchor Bar and Duff's. Bar-Bill has awesome wings. They don't take reservations, so you have to get your ass there on time. But I can't wait to put some of that on my wings later. Yes, it's going to be a late night up here in Buffalo on Hump Day. Let's get right back to the DD, and let's talk a little bit about not CGRA. Love CGRA, but not CGRA. Ifus. One thing that I thought I would never talk about on the show is cow shit. But here we are nonetheless. There's a lot of hype and excitement building with this. And so I just want to go through the security details here. And then I got a chance to sit down with the professor. For those of you in the iList Discord, you know him as the professor. And smart guy, unfortunately, he wasn't able to come out. So we had to record via phone. So I'm going to play that conversation. And it's meaty, but there's so much detail that goes into this. Check out the PowerPoint presentation that I put in the link. I'm not joking. Even if you're not even interested, you're like, yeah, screw Ifus. I don't care about investing in the stock. I'm here for CGRA. Just take a look at this, because the study that they put out it has a potential. I'm not saying it's going to change. It has a potential to save billions for the cattle industry. Unbelievable. 6.1 million market cap, authorized shares 625 million, outstanding share count 493 million. And guess what? This is what I look for. Restricted shares are more than the unrestricted. They're buying up their own shares. 250 million in restricted and 242 million in unrestricted, with the float at 232 million. So it's unbelievable, what they're doing. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that PowerPoint in a second, but I want to get back to this audio clip. So if you are invested in Ifus, put that in the description. Let me know what you think. Let's look at interesting comment. I mean, in the sense of the economic impacts, Ifus solutions are the answer to inflation in feed prices and the nutrition. And the nutrition is, like I was saying earlier, I love a good product, a good meat product. That's important, So, Yeah, he's talking about the unknowns. There's plenty of unknowns. I mean, whatever. I mean, I can't live day to day thinking about what if. I deal with people a lot. Like, well, what if this? What if this happens? What if that? Oh my gosh, who cares? You can't go through life thinking about what ifs. You just got to do it. All right, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna play this audio clip from from the professor. So let's take a look here. Ooh. Quick call. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. So I'm just going to hop to it. Could you explain your role as an investor in Ifus and tell us a little bit about the Ifus DD and market research data you have accumulated?
Well, first off, I'm not an officer or director or insider of Ifus, but I am an outside activist shareholder and customer. In 2009, Impact Fusion International was going to introduce a drink line to compete with Gatorade, which is where I first ran across the ticker and got interested. Talk about more on that later. But jumping forward, I've been using one of their products called Intact Digest Daily since 2013. That is why, when, where, how, and why I now know and have known since 2013 that the main product was unique. I've been to, what you call an expert in the nutraceuticals world for about 40 years now. So jumping forward to 2014, my kids, college kids, tried out Ifus Intact Endurance, which is a concentrate you add to bottled water, similar to the Intact Digest I've used daily since 2013. My adult college kids used it at Spartan and Tough Mudder races, and an Olympic runner was sponsored using it at the UK Olympics about 8 to 9 years ago. That was the early history of the company and the technology. In 2013, Impact Fusion introduced what I call the trash to cash technology, converting waste sugarcane fiber into a cattle feed. That story hit my radar in 2013, and because of my background, I knew this could someday be huge. Being a nutrition expert, credentialed biochemical environmental engineer with my own inventions, patents, and business startup success history, I knew right away that Ifus was unique and huge. So that was the beginnings of the story there.
Now you mentioned the sugarcane, the fiber waste. Could you explain a little bit about potential investors, the process of converting sugarcane fiber waste into a bio-useful product with multiple game-changer applications? I know we explained it. I know there's a very complicated process. I know you tend to explain things, and sometimes I just wish you would just like slow it down, because sometimes my brain spins. Not gonna lie. So if you could just do like the simple process, just so people could understand in its most simplest form how this happens and what its usefulness is.
Well, it's a proprietary, ultra low cost process, and that's what the money people care about. In 100 years, no other company or university has figured out a cost-effective way to convert sugarcane waste fiber, known as bagasse, into a cattle feed cost-effectively. Ifus not only figured it out, but made it very cost-effective. And in the process of making a low-cost substitute for hay, they discovered that they had invented a game-changer feed supplement that lowers feed costs and solves many problems that the cattle feed industry faces. The cattle feed industry spends billions of dollars dealing with those problems that Ifus has now figured out how to solve, and we'll get into that further into the discussion here. Ifus now has those solutions in inventory, and they are now shipping product.
So I got to ask, can you explain, because I know I'm still wrapping my brain around all this. Can you explain exactly what happens when this cattle feed additive is used as part of the feed, and how does it save customers money? So, and what exactly, like, is the feed? Is it a liquid? Is it a powder? What exactly is that?
Basically, we put the sugarcane fiber through a process and infuse it with the key Ifus ingredient, Nutramastic, which is a trademarked proprietary formula that's also in the Intact Digest, the human supplement. When the cattle feed is supplemented at up to 65% of the cattle feed mix, the cattle eat less feed, they drink less water, they assimilate, digest, and absorb more of what they eat, and they convert more of what they eat into healthy protein. That lowers the total feed costs, and the cattle at the feedlots gain weight faster. Second part of the story is that they discovered, let's say by accident, that some of the customers that were using the feed early on, when the cattle were shipped to the feedlots, when the cattle were shipped to the slaughterhouses called up and wanted to know what these people had been feeding the cattle, and they asked the slaughterhouse, well, why are you asking? And their answer was that normally 75% of the livers of all of the cattle in the U.S. are so diseased that they have to throw them away. They can't even sell them for dog food.
Wow.
And the cattle that were being fed the Supreme Gold Plus had 100% healthy livers, and the slaughterhouses hadn't seen this before.
Wow.
The healthy liver is important to digestion and absorption and conversion of what they eat into protein. And that was when we knew that we had something more than just a substitute for hay during droughts that was cost effective.
Wow. Sounds like it is really going to impact the market. Like I said, for everybody listening right now, this is pretty impressive stuff. And I want to ask you this question because you did send me some documents, pretty cool stuff. There were several field studies done using this additive in cow feed, like you were just talking about. Now, this report, which is linked below, is 29 pages and breaks down the benefits of this. It's remarkable. You guys got to check out this report. Explain this to me and our viewers as if we are 10 years old. Seriously. But in all seriousness, what were the results of the study and how have potential customers reacted to it?
Well, the study is a user's guide, what we call an industry, an SOP, Standard Operating Procedures Manual and guide on how to use the Ifus Supreme Gold Plus feed supplement, how to introduce it to the cattle, and what the customers should expect. It includes recent field trial results, photographs, data under real-world conditions, and includes the references to peer-reviewed studies, industry guidelines, and manuals that the study followed. So basically, here's the results of the earlier tests and trials this year, with some major ranchers, with hundreds of cattle and hundreds of goats. And show step by step what they did, how they did it, what the results were, and how they documented the results. Which includes, if you get down to the last couple of pages, some details on the actual savings, which I think was your next question.
Well, I did have a question about the actual savings, and but my question is, this is very, very, I don't want to say sensitive information, just because the cattle industry is absolutely huge, and you guys are looking to really penetrate it nicely with a revolutionary feed. But have there been any documented side effects when it's used in cattle? Have there been any documented side effects at all? And have there been any negative aspects of this whatsoever?
Zero negative effects. All of the side effects, there are side effects, and they're all positive. All of the results or side effects have been game changers with shocking results. One customer already reported a reduction in costs from $3.50 per cow per day feed cost down to 45 cents per day.
Wow.
With no hay used in the feed mix. That's a cost reduction of $3.50 per day per cow, and to 45 cents from one of the current customers.
Wow.
That's an 80-something plus % cost reduction. It's huge. You multiply that times millions of cattle, and you're talking about real money. And that's a daily reduction per cow.
Wow. That's absolutely, that's remarkable. And how could, I mean, you're already explaining how you could probably corner the market, obviously, because this is unbelievable, the cost savings to farmers. But, what is Ifus going to do to corner the rancher market? There are a ton of heavy hitters in the industry. How can Ifus put a dent in and capture the market?
Well, let me add one more thing to your prior question. One of the things they discovered after 4 weeks is that all of the flies had disappeared. Apparently, the cattle are digesting so much of what they eat that there's no nutrients left in the manure, And the female flies are no longer attracted to the manure, no longer laying eggs. And so the customers started reporting that the flies had vanished. And the fly control cost to the U.S. cattle industry is $1.4 something billion per year. We just found this out weeks ago.
That's unreal.
Now, getting to the rest of your question, no other company in the world has this technology or process. So the heavy hitters are going to be knocking on our door, wanting to get in on this. As Mattress Max at Gallery Furniture says in his TV ads, Ifus Supreme Go Plus will save them money. That is how we're going to take over the market or become the market supplier, whatever you want to call it. These guys will be beating the door down to be distributors.
I mean, it really is. If what you're saying is true, and like I said, guys, check the link of this study in the description. It's 29 pages. It's really remarkable. If it is as revolutionary as you say it is, and these studies are accurate, we're talking about saving $1 billion in cost for cattle farming or cattle production. Is that what you would say, cattle production, or the cattle industry, I should say? I mean, seriously. So,
yeah.
Let me ask you, is any of this patented, or you said trademark before, but does
patents simply tell the competition how to steal it. Coca-Cola's and Kentucky Fried Chicken's secret formulas are their secret to success. Everything Ifus has is proprietary trade secret.
Do you truly believe that Ifus is going to execute in a fashion that will stifle any potential client hesitation?
Let me say this. 3 weeks ago, Free Rural TV News, RFD TV, real credentialed TV journalists, started airing an on-site visit video of the plant with customers at the plant, real customers at the plant, with the CEO on the plant tour that has gone viral in the cattle world for just the last 3 weeks. The customers at the Ifus plant explained their opinion of the results they have seen already in the large herds they tried to feed in this year. It's already gone viral. The oldest dairy newsletter since 1885 that has 3 dairies with 22,000 with dairy cows for feed dairy, republished at no charge because it is huge news. The RFD TV Twilla site visit video and the PR details. So shock and awe has started as this news has gone viral to the actual feed buyers world. So it's only a matter of time before Wall Street wakes up and loads up retail shares, in my opinion.
All right, Professor. Thanks for joining me for a quick call. I really appreciate it.
Yes, anytime.